part of what we're looking at today is what it means when we're talking about the weapons teaching the empty hand teaching the bladed weapon, and the similarities that move across. So a lot of the things that we have are like back fists, which would translate into the bladed weapon being present. But when you are hitting, when the blade is removed, when the weapon is removed, whether it's a punyo from a stick or a punyo or the actual blade itself, within the Filipino systems, is that if we were hitting with a blade, if it was the James Bond knife hand, the James Bond knife hand, if this was the blade, would be hitting with your knife. If that translates into empty hand and you start hitting people at maximum force with your fingers, you're obviously going to destroy your hand, which takes them out of the fight for the next part of it, whether you need to re-weaponize yourself. So the same goes for, just by a matter of degree, if you're doing backhand, hammer fists, hacking hand, whatever it is you call it, you still have to remember that the primary hitting area is the actual fist itself. The closer you get distally to it, and you're hitting with the lower knuckle, especially if it's not protected by knuckles that have been damaged in other incidents, and you still want to be hitting in and around where the maximum force has been done, which is where the muscle forms whenever you have your clench it. The further you get away, the more damage is likely to be in the hand for whenever you're doing backhand, overhand back fisting again, whether it's weaponized or not. The other end of it is, if you go too far past that, you start to take away, the closer you get to the elbow, you start to need to go for hacking elbows, hacking forearms, being careful of what the nature of the weapon is, whether you're translating that as a machete, is that you have to understand that the force is different the closer it gets to the elbow, and train accordingly. So, well, how can you be so accurate? Well, that's why we train. That's the purpose of our training, to make us more accurate. The right weapon at the right time in the right place is what does the job. Something to consider. And these elements of accuracy hold true across most fighting domains, which makes it a truth. It's better to hit with the end of the stick, the fastest moving part of it. If it's true within that weapon environment, it's true for the other environment. In the same way, some arts like to hit with the entirety of the fist. Some like to focus on the top two knuckles. It's a matter of persistence. It's a matter for you, personal preference, injury, age, experience, all play a part. And again, if we're talking about a bladed environment, does it need to go in longer than is necessary to achieve the destructive damage like before? Do you need to overextend with the baton, to achieve it? Is it more? Do you get more out of remaining tip on? Again, that's a matter of training. That's all it is.